Welcome back. A new year means new laws, and here with a preview of the 2016 Virginia legislature and priorities for the local business community, we have the head of the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, Jim Corcoran, back with us. Hey, Jim, good to see you.
Hello, Melanie. Thanks for having us back.
So when I think about Fairfax County and business, of course, my head goes right to technology, and of course, we have a lot of healthcare, a lot of big hospitals and that kind of thing. Are those the big employers in the area still?
Certainly those are among them, but hospitality, we have Volkswagen headquartered out there. We have a lot of the defense industry headquartered out in Northern Virginia and Fairfax County, like the Northrop Grumman and Lockheed and Booz Allen have tons of employees out in Northern Virginia.
So how are you going about trying to promote these big employers as we head into this legislative session?
Well, number one, the most important thing to every employer, whether you're a one-person employer or a 10,000-person employer, is your workforce, your future workforce. And so that ties into education. Mm-hmm. And education is by far the number one priority for the business community and for the chamber this year.
Because you're worried that there won't be people to fill the jobs that are available.
Well, the number of people and qualified people, right? So since 2009, there's been about $1 billion a year reduction in the funds for schools across the Commonwealth of Virginia. So it has fallen upon the local jurisdictions to pick up that difference. So the number one issue we'll be advocating for this year is increased funding for preschool and K-12 funding across the Commonwealth of Virginia, so that that total burden does not fall just on the local jurisdiction.
Because it all starts at those early ages, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. The second thing, again, going back to those technology industries, increase in the research and tax credit. Okay, so there has been a research tax credit that existed for the last couple of years, but last year Delegate Tim Hugo advanced some legislation to test running that legislation for larger companies as well, because large research initiatives can fund a tremendous amount of jobs across Northern Virginia. So we want to have a research tax credit for businesses of all sizes. Would be very helpful for the economy. So those are two of the major issues that we're advocating for down in Richmond this year. Transportation issues never go away, do they?
So what's the priority there? I always hear about 66 and those toll lanes. Is that what you're pushing?
The 66 improvements inside and outside the Beltway are a priority, and certain things have been taken up there and passed. We're not pushing for tolls by any stretch, but we're pushing for a plan to improve capacity on Route 66. Outside the Beltway, the same way. But we also have Metro to take care of. We need to make sure there's full funding for Metro, and there are roads beyond 66 as well.
And other than transportation, anything else on your plate?
Oh, absolutely. Healthcare continues to be an initiative. Energy, making sure that we have all the necessary energy infrastructure here across Northern Virginia is
How are
key.
we doing in that area?
Well, pretty good actually right now, but as our economy continues to grow, as more people move here, and this is a popular place to be because there are still jobs here, we need to assure that we have the proper amount of energy, think electricity. If we're going to have all these data centers across Northern Virginia, we need to make sure that there are adequate supplies of that. But that is, again, an ongoing opportunity.
Yeah. And as far as the job numbers go, we had a really robust national jobs report out this morning, something like 292,000 new jobs created last month. The unemployment rate stays at 5%. How does that compare with what's going on locally?
Well, across the Washington region, we're below the national average when it comes to unemployment rates. We're better than the national average as compared to below. In Northern Virginia, we're in very good position with the unemployment rates. Having said that, some of the jobs that we have grown have been lesser paying jobs than the ones we had back in 2008, 2009. So while we have close to full employment at this point, we want to make sure that we continue to have the quality jobs that we have traditionally had coming into the Northern Virginia region.
So you've got this big agenda heading into the legislative session. Now, how do you sell it? What do you do?
Well, the Northern Virginia Chamber, and formerly the Fairfax County Chamber of Commerce, we have full-time representation down in Richmond. So we have a government relations individual that's down there every day of the General Assembly session. In addition to that, our members go down on a regular basis. But more importantly, we also collaborate with other organizations. Other chambers are down there from across the state that have common issues, and we present a unified business front when we are down there advocating for issues that are critical to the region. And we will continue with those efforts as we move forward.
You know, Fairfax County and Northern Virginia in particular is so sort of different from what's going on in the rest of the state. I mean, you've got rural areas, you've got different areas where there's more military concentrations. So you have all these sort of differing butting heads up against each other for dollars. Mm-hmm. How do you win?
It's not about winning, it's about advancing, right? There are opportunities everywhere across the state. And yes, that's what politics is. That's what collaboration is. You need to make sure that you can get the most return for your investment by the state government or the Commonwealth government. And we're fortunate up here in Northern Virginia. Other areas that have been dependent upon industries that have gone away, they can benefit from the Northern Virginia industries as well, because let's say a call center or a data center or whatever it may be that one of our leading technology businesses up here has, they may be able to make a better investment in another locality downstate somewhere. And believe me, they are. A number of businesses have brought operations back from overseas because they see opportunities to have it here locally. And we have a great workforce across the Commonwealth of Virginia. We're fortunate to have one of the best university systems across the United States, bar none. And so we really do have this great workforce in Virginia. We have expensive areas here, and we have affordable areas here across the Commonwealth of Virginia. So companies are taking advantage of that.
So we have an excellent school system,
mm-hmm.
and we
Multiple
have
excellent school
affordable
systems.
Housing, affordable in quotes. And what else? What are the other big selling points when you go out and try to sell the area to prospective employers to come and headquarter here? How do you do that? What do you do?
Well, some people may argue with you on the affordable housing part, right?
Right.
Northern Virginia is an expensive market, but that is something that all jurisdictions continue to work on. And I'll tell you, we work very much in conjunction with the economic development offices. So in Fairfax County and Loudoun County and Arlington, they have separate economic development offices. And Jerry Gordon in Fairfax County runs the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority. So Dr. Gordon brings businesses to Fairfax County, and the chambers serve them after they are there. So we are working with the companies that are in existence. Of course, there are many opportunities for us to collaborate on a number of things. But having said that, when it comes to advancing the economy of the region, our chamber, the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, has partnered with the 2030 Group on a new research project, the roadmap to the Capital Region's economic future. It's going to be unveiled next Thursday at the Capital One and George Mason Economic Forum out in Tyson's Corner at the Ritz-Carlton. Certainly open to everybody to attend. There's probably 500, 600 people registered already for that event. And that identifies 7 pockets of economic opportunities that the region, that the entire capital region can take advantage of to lessen our dependence on the federal government. And as federal government spending continues to decline, we need to grow private sector industries. And that is the message behind the roadmap.
Happening next Thursday. We've got a final minute, and I want to talk about your new name, because you are no longer the Fairfax County Chamber
Correct.
of Commerce. You are the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, and that started just in January. So why the change?
Actually, just this week.
Really?
It did. And as we've been talking all along, Melanie, things are regional now. So businesses that we have out in Northern Virginia do not necessarily identify themselves as an Arlington business, a Fairfax business, a Loudoun business, Prince William. They're a Northern Virginia business and a Greater Washington region business. And as a region, we have to work together. The 2030 Group I mentioned, there's the Brookings Institute, along with J.P. Morgan Chase, the Global Cities Initiative. We have to work in a united fashion.
So it's all about collaboration.
Absolutely.
So you can move ahead.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Jim Corcoran, he is with the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for coming in, Jim.
Thank you.
And we're coming back with more News Talk in just a moment. Stick around.